Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Greeditational, and as you can see from the title of the video, I'm hosting a Little Cup invitational tournament. Now, you might be thinking, why exactly am I really trying to be doing this? Well, honestly, probably for the past year, most of 2025, I was really interested in hosted tournaments. In fact, I did end up hosting one as the Little Cup Last Chance for Circuit, which I did end up making playoffs for, but ever since one of the best LC hosts and just best Smogon hosts I've ever known has basically retired from the site, I always felt like, hey, I think that I could do better than the people that have been doing it for multiple years. That's just a thing of me, I'm egoing. But then next, I also just like watching good and entertaining Pokemon games. Like, watching a bad game of Pokemon is just not fun, and I figured, alright, if I want to host this tournament, and it's going to be my own tournament, I'm going to want to make sure like the games are not only like good, so like in between, like with good players, but also just like entertaining. Like it's very fun to see the best of the best go against it, which leads to my next point. And I also have been wanting to know, I wanted to really know who I'd say is the quote best LC player. So now there are a couple people that like could call themselves the best currently. However, that's because they all play different tiers. So for example, we just had the 2025 LC Awards, and different people won different kind of awards. So for example, Enigma won the best Sword and Shield player, Sword and Shield Scarlet Violet player, Hacker won the best Sword and Shield, Ace Hunter won best SM, and I don't remember the rest of the list, etc. However, those are just for one generation. And while Envy did end up actually winning the award for best overall player, I don't actually know if I would call him the best. I don't actually know who I'd call the best overall. Last year, 2024 is very easy to pick, but 2025, it's a bit of a decision. And here's a little clip art imagery I made. So with all of this in mind, I created the Greeditational. It's a Little Cup pick and ban tour. This art, of course, created by me. I make all my own stuff for now. So first, we're going to discuss the tournament format. So basically, how is this tournament going to be run? And it's going to be two stages to the tournament. The first stage is going to be 64 players, which we'll cover their names in a bit. And it's going to be 6 rounds of Swiss stage with an 8-person top cut. So basically, what that looks like is in the first round, you're going to get the players are going to be paired up against a random opponent, and they could play really any one of the remaining 63 players in the pool. Then, for the second round, all of the people who won last round, and their record is 1-0, they will play similar people who are also 1-0. And then similarly, the people who lost the first round, and who are now have a record of 0-1, they will play other 0-1s. So basically, it's to ensure that you're getting, the longer the tournament goes on, the more likely you are to get paired with someone of a similar skill level. So the matches are going to be best of 3. How those matches, or how the games are decided, we'll go over a bit later when we go over the main feature of this tournament. And the top cut, as we said, is an 8-person top cut. 8-person top cut. There's going to be one undefeated person at 6-0. There's going to be 6 5-1 players. 6 5-1 players. And then there's going to be a singular 4-2. So now 4-2 will be 8th placed all the way to 22nd. If you want to see the details of what the tie-breaking qualifications are, please go to the Smogon forums where I have that all posted. You'll have there will be a link to that in the description. But that's the first part of the tournament. The second stage is a single elimination bracket. So it's going to be all our 8 people, numbers 1 through 8 of top cut, and they're going to be going against each other in a single elimination bracket all the way up to the grand finals. So you eventually wins the entire thing, similar to how a VGC regional is hosted. You've got your rounds of Swiss, you then go into top cut, which is single elimination. Something to note though that is a bit different is the grand finals and the game for 3rd/4th place are going to be best of 5s. So the first round of top cut, the quarterfinals, that game will be best of 3, same as everything else. Semifinals game, that will also be best of 3. However, the grand finals and the game for 3rd and 4th place, those will both be best of 5s. And now, how the main gimmick, you could say, of this tournament, games are going to be decided using a tier voting system, which we'll be going over now, the tier voting system. So players are going to alternate between bans and picks on 7 different Little Cup tiers until a 3rd is left as a decider in case of a Game 3. So I've been a big Valorant fan now for probably the last 2-ish years or so, And something I really enjoyed from their competitive scene, the Valorant Champions, I don't know what the T stands for, VCT. What something I've enjoyed is their map veto. So how they host their map veto is they have 7 maps in their competitive pool, and then the pro teams, they alternate between banning and picking things, which we'll then have a visual for later. But to go over the 7 tiers, Little Cup's actually in a unique spot where Gens 1 and 2 are not currently viable for serious competitive Little Cup play. So it fits very nicely that we have 7 generations of the tier that are able to be played. Those, of course, are Gen 9, Gen 8, Gen 7, Gen 6, Gen 5, Gen 4, and Gen 3. So those are all the tiers that are going to be banned and picked in different orders in our tournament. So at the beginning of each round, a coin flip is going to decide which person chooses if they're going to ban first or second in the tier order. So we'll say we'll have an example week. The week just went up, and we have player 1 and player 2. Player 1 has just won the coin flip, and they're going to decide to ban first. And so again, they're going to be banning Little Cup tiers from Gen 3 to Gen 9. So player 1, they decide that they are going to ban Scarlet and Violet. That means Scarlet and Violet will not be played. Now it's player's 2 turn, and player 2 is going to decide to ban Sword and Shield. So that is the first round. The first part is there's going to be player 1 ban, player 2 ban. It's next going to go to the player 1 pick. So player 1 in this example is going to pick Sun and Moon. So that will be the first game that is played. Now it's player's 2 turn, and player 2 is going to pick Oras. So we have game 1 is going to be Sun and Moon, game 2 is going to be Oras. Next, we're going to go back to banning again. It's going to be player 1's turn again. And in this example, player 1 is going to ban Black and White. So in response, it's now back to player 2. Player 2 is going to ban DPP, Diamond Platinum Pearl. Diamond Pearl Platinum. Which leaves us with ADV Advanced. I don't know why it's called Advanced, actually. Someone tell me in the comments below why it's called Advanced and not Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. But that will be the third game. So as we can see in the text, the game's orders that the players will play in will be Sun and Moon, Little Cup first, then Oras, Little Cup second, and then the event goes to a game 3. It's going to go to ADV. So, a list of players. So there are 64 people in this tournament, and yeah, here's just a list of everybody. As you can see, I've nicked myself into my own bracket. Do I think I have what it takes to win this entire tournament? Absolutely not. I only have 2 competitive gens of Scarlet Violet and Sword and Shield, and I am not very good at like 2 different gens, so it's going to be very rough for me in this kind of tournament. However, my goals are to go neutral. If I go 3-3 or better, I think I've done well, and I will be very happy with myself. But just to point out some notable names, and now I'm looking at the list, it's really hard because there are so many good people on here. Like, we've got, I think after some people declined, unfortunately, like there were a few people that I would have liked to be in here, but for whatever reasons they had to decline, personal or just not enjoying Pokemon anymore. But we have like as many people in the top like 30 of most wins all time in this tournament. We also have people who have won multiple tournaments, whether individuals or team tournaments. We have like basically some of the best Little Cup talent that accepted their invites, of course, are in this tournament. So yeah, again, here's just a list of everyone. Now the prizing. Now, unfortunately, Little Cup players famously hate playing Little Cup, myself included. So I had to incentivize the people to actually join this tournament because no one actually plays the game for fun anymore. So I put $1,000 of United States dollars of my own money that is going to be going to prizes. So for winning the entire tournament, so for getting into top cut and then winning the best of 5 in the grand finals, you're going to win $400. A nice, pretty amount. So even if I win my own tournament, which I don't even think I can, because I'm not that good. I'm good, but I'm not that good. The old gens, ooh, those are scary. You get $400, so I don't even get half of my money back if I win it. Second place, we'll end up getting $200. Third place, $125. Fourth place, $75. And then 5th to 8th place will all be getting $50. So even just for making top cut, and then it says prizes for top cut players only. So just making top cut just means, hey, even if you lose that first game, congrats, so you're still getting 50 bucks. Now, where will you actually be able to watch these games? So you're like, wow, you know, I'm really interested in the format. I saw some of those names on the things, like, wow, Haslip's really good in Freeze Eye. Wow, what if those two play? I really want to watch their games. Well, the main place that I'll have to recommend you to is the Greeditational Discord. So I've created one for just players and also people who want to watch and see what kind of games are... That's not English. Is the Greeditational Discord. So this is just where, if you are interested in watching the games, this is where you can come and like you'll get a matches. You can get a matches role as well when people live post their games. You'll get to see how the tiering vetoes have gone, so which players have banned what. You'll just see other random Little Cup discussion throughout all the gens. The second place I'll have to recommend is the Little Cup Discord. This will also have a link in the description. And this is just, will mostly have more general knowledge of Little Cup, so say if you're really trying to get into any of the 7 tiers that you watch, you're like, wow, Black and White Little Cup, that seems really interesting. I really want to learn more about that. This would be where I'd point you to go to get more information from people who are and aren't in this tournament. And then finally, the Smogon forums. So this is where I've been granted permission by Little Cup leadership to post it and just make it easier for people to access who don't want to end up joining this Discord. However, on the forums, you will only be seeing the replays. You will be unable to see any of the games live. If you're trying to do that, highly recommend joining the Greeditational Discord. And again, however, I'm going to just make sure, if you are to join any of these Discords or forum pages, you need to make sure you are obviously following the rules and regulations of both Discord and Smogon. So if you're not following Discord's terms of services, obviously you can just get your account terminated. And if you don't follow the rules on Smogon, then obviously we use technology. I think there's just a Discord bot that if you're banned in Smogon, then you would be unable to join these Discords. So make sure you're obviously following all their rules. So yeah, just doing all that kind of stuff. Now, separate to the tournament discussion stuff, just some of my YouTube ambitions. Again, it's the beginning of 2025, I wish. It's the beginning of 2026, and you know, it's the first video of the year. So really, again, 3 weeks late, but I wanted to wish you all a happy new year. Hope your New Year's resolutions are going well. And this is one that I'm going to have for me. I'm going to attempt to be doing more content in 2026. I did a couple in 2025. I did one of my SCL games. I did my tiebreaker versus Lily AC, and there's a couple others in here and there. However, I know I can definitely produce more content, so here are going to be my goals for it. So first is I want to cover more Little Cup tournament recaps. So I had a video, and I don't remember what part of the tournament it was, but I remember I used Daunt versus a player in this tournament actually in the thumbnail because he was smack talking another person, and you know, and it was just coverage of what I think the best games of that week of a tournament were. So, and that's my most viewed video. I think it's got like 700 views. So I'm going to be trying to do more of that content because obviously that seems to be what people like watching. But also, I want to also like stream a variety of games that I'm already going to be playing. So towards the end of last year, Silksong came out, and I streamed a bunch of that on Twitch, pretty much my entire playthrough. However, I didn't know Twitch didn't save VODs. So I figured out the technology on how to use Restream to stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And I've actually done a few live streams of me playing Expedition 33. And that game has been super fun. Very, I think, deserved its Game of the Year position. It was very fun. Music's amazing. However, also just on the side, the past month or two, I've just been playing Arc Raiders. There's been no video content of that, but I'm totally down to just like record myself playing it. Like, I'm already playing the game. I might as well, like, you know, start recording myself too. Because, like, what's the worst that could happen? But that's all I have for this video. Again, thank you for everyone who's made it all the way through. If you enjoy my content and you want to see more YouTube coverage of this Greeditational that's going to be going on for the next 2, maybe even 3 months, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I hope you have a good beginning to the 2026 year. Peace.